Hi guys, I'm Mark Coles. Welcome to the Physique Coach Education Series with Scitec Nutrition. Hi guys, welcome back to the next video in the series. Now today, the topic's going to be about getting your body fat very low. And really I want to share with you some of my top tricks and secrets as to how I help people get their body fat to either photo shoot level, to the beach level, or even to the competitive stage level. Now, a lot of people are able to get themselves relatively lean. All right, they get themselves to the point where they can see their abdominals just about, they're still carrying excess body fat on the back, they don't really see the shape in their legs, and this is really going to be for, I'll cover a couple of topics really in the fact that we can talk about women and we can talk about guys. They're pretty damn different in terms of the strategies to get people very, very, very lean. But in terms of the fundamentals, let me lay these down for you. So, step number one is you need to have a plan. It sounds bonkers, but a lot of people that are very, very new to getting very, very lean, they don't have a formula. They're not having anything that's actually in front of them, and they can deduct calories weekly. They can add calories when they need to. They are literally just going off feel. Now, there are pro athletes that I know who have got to the point where they really don't count much. They know what they need to have. They know when they need to work harder. They know when they need to take their calories down a little bit more. But you're not one of them. And to be honest, in the beginning, you need to have your calories written down on a piece of paper. Now, if you're just having the same food 7 days a week, or you're having training days and non-training day diets, or you're having a full-on calorie and carb cycling plan, it needs to be laid out in front of you. You need to see the numbers. The second thing you need to do is you need to have a consistent training week. If you put into your training program 20 minutes of cardio every morning and you're doing one weight training session a day, that needs to stay put. If you're doing 4 training sessions a day, that needs to stay put. And whatever you set your calories at and whatever you set your training and cardio at, you need to leave that for at least the first 10 or 12 days. You then need to have your body fat checked. You need to have it done whether or not you use DEXA, whether or not you use calipers. Now, when I work with people, I tend to use the thickest body fat site. For me, generally, it's around the part of my lower back or up by my scapula. And to be fair, depending on the off season that I've had, around my belly button. You can go online and you can buy body fat calipers very, very cheaply. And you can literally get somebody to do 2 sites or 3 sites. You don't need to know the body fat number, you just need to know that the body fat's coming down. And a lot of the problem with people when they struggle to get lean is they are losing muscle tissue. But because you're not checking your body fat regularly, you don't know if it's muscle you're losing or whether or not you're actually losing body fat. So by the time you've zipped away your calories and zipped up your cardio, you're standing there a shadow of your former self. And this goes for guys and girls. So you need some level of weight check on a week-to-week basis. You need your caliper readings. The third thing you need to make sure is during some level of off-season or when you had your calories higher, they need to have been brought up to a point where you are sleeping well, recovering well, where your mood, sex drive, energy is bang on. Females, your hormones need to be bang on, your menstrual cycle needs to be bang on. And everything needs to be in a good, happy place to then be able to bring calories down. And the real add-on to this is you need to be training very, very hard. You need to be taking your effort intensity up. To take your intensity levels up, very, very difficult for a lot of people. So that needs to be in there. You also, and I'm going to add this as a final one, guys, you need to make sure that you go beyond average. To get very, very lean might require some people doing up to an hour's worth of cardio a day. It might require taking your calories down to 2,000 and maybe sometime below, but not for long periods of time. It will require suffering. It will require being sometimes very socially inactive because you don't have much energy. But unless you stay committed, unless you're prepared to go to a place where you've never been to before, and unless you track everything, you have very little data and you have very little knowledge of how to actually get there. So getting very, very lean is very, very, very possible. However, it's going to take you to a place you've never been to before. If you've always been to the same place every time, then going to the next place is where you need to go to. So guys, make sure you stay tuned for the next video in the series, and remember to keep in touch with us through our social media channels, through Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Ask lots of questions, because the more questions you share, the more content we share.